Welcome to my channel. Today we'll take a journey back in time to learn about what cavemen did all day. When the sun began to rise, the cavemen would wake up. They didn't use an alarm clock, so the sunrise and the sounds of nature were their alarm. The first thing they would do was rekindle the fire that the tribe had made the night before. Then they would check if there was any food left from the previous day. After this, they would stretch their stiff limbs and yawn widely. After this, the women and the children would go out looking for food. They would gather berries, nuts, and roots to eat. The men, on the other hand, would go hunting small to medium-sized animals. Sometimes they would also fish or set traps for animals. If the men managed to catch enough food, they would share it with the rest of the tribe. If not, then everyone would have to go hungry. After this, the cavemen would start working. They would make and repair stone tools, wooden spears and baskets for gathering. They would also use the fire to cook their food, keep themselves warm and protect themselves from wild animals. When they weren't working, they would prepare the hides of the animals they had killed to use them for clothing and shelter. The men usually did the hunting and the making of tools, while the women processed the hides and the children gathered around the fire and kept it going. However, everybody had to help each other out when needed. As far as shelter goes, if the cavemen lived near a cave, they would live in it. Otherwise, they would build a hut using branches, bones, and hides. These huts were extremely simple and didn't last very long. When the season changed, the cavemen would have to move to a new location in search of food and water. This is why cavemen migrated all the time. Sometimes they would follow the herds of animals they hunted. The social life of the caveman was also interesting. They lived in small groups of 20 to 40 people. These groups consisted of several families who were related, like an extended family band. Everybody in the group had a role to play. The men hunted, the women gathered, the children kept the fire going, and the elders watched over everybody and made sure everybody did their work. The elders were respected because they had lots of memories and knowledge. Even though the cavemen had a social life, this doesn't mean they didn't have problems. They were constantly getting injured, getting infections, and going hungry. Most of them didn't live past the age of 20 to 30, so the average life expectancy was quite low. But there is some evidence that shows that they took care of the sick and the disabled. When they weren't busy doing something, the cavemen liked to have fun. In the evenings, after the sun went down, they would sit around the fire and tell stories. They also used to sing songs and make up myths. Cavemen also used to make cave art, carvings, and probably also early music. They made flutes out of bones and used to play them. They also liked to play games with stones and sticks, and they liked to imitate animals. The family structure of the cavemen was also unique. Cavemen didn't have formal marriage rituals, so pair bonds were formed naturally. Once a man and a woman wanted to be together, they stayed together. The community also played an important role in raising the children, not just the parents. So basically the whole village would raise the children. It was also normal for a man to have more than one wife. The cavemen believed that cooperation was more important than individual choice. This is why they always put the good of the group before their own needs. The seasons also played an important role in the life of the cavemen. Summer was the best season as it meant abundance, so survival was easier. Winter was the worst season as food was scarce, and the cavemen had to huddle together for warmth. During winter, the cavemen would often migrate to warmer places where they could find food easily. This is why most cave paintings and carvings have been found in warmer places. At night, the cavemen would gather by the fire one last time before going to sleep. They would tell stories, sing songs, and make myths. The children would listen intently to the stories, and the adults would reminisce about the old times. They would sleep in groups, and the adults would huddle together for warmth. The children would sleep in the middle of the group, as this was the safest place. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time.